All right, guys. So I'm gonna cover the preview to the game against Liverpool tomorrow. A couple of things I'm gonna talk about in this video. Talk about the formation. Talk about lineups and who I think should start. Talk about Guler, Luka Modric, who I think is gonna be potentially a threat against us in the game tomorrow. There's a couple of concerns that I have ahead of the clash against Liverpool. They're obviously in very good form. So I just want to pick things up first, talking about the fact that obviously, we won the game 3-0 over the weekend, and one of the keys to that win was Vinicius playing down the middle, looking like a prime Karim Benzema. I mean, he was looking sharp. He was receiving the ball under pressure, combining with teammates. So that's why I'm a bit concerned that Vinny is not, going to be playing in this game. I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have with us out of possession. In many ways, having Vinicius and Mbappe on the pitch at the same time gives you a little less balance without the ball. So in theory, having Jude Bellingham play higher up to try to support Mbappe in transition may actually be a pretty good thing for us, because you may also have a box presence now with Jude playing higher up. In the press conference today, Jude said that he doesn't feel as comfortable when he's playing on the flank, when he's playing out wide, because oftentimes we play with a 4-4-2 out of possession, and then Jude goes to the left-hand side to cover that space before he tucks in when we recover the ball. But it sounds like in this game, he's going to be playing a little bit more centrally. And we saw how well he played against Leganes when he played a little bit more down the middle. It was his best game of the season so far. So I'm encouraged by having Jude play more down the middle and in a more offensive role, because that's where he can really influence the game. He is one of the best players in the world in that position, and that's where he can really hurt the opposition. And you can't also forget about all the work he does without the ball. I was also really encouraged in our last game by Arda Güler. He looked really good, especially when that adjustment was made at halftime, where Arda played a little bit more in the inside rather than being all the way touching the touch line and not really being in a position where he can affect the game. You could tell that Carlo told him at halftime, hey, we need you to come in a little bit more centrally when we have the ball so that you can get more touches on the ball. You can also try and take a shot on target, which we all know Arda has a really wicked shot on him. So it's a big question if he's going to actually trust Arda, given all the injuries that we have, or if Carlo's going to do what we all suspect he's going to do, which is he's just going to go with the guys that he trusts. And anybody who doesn't have trust in the bank with Carlo, it's so hard to get any minutes under Carlo. And that's the thing that, I'm a little bit worried about, is he's going to play a guy like Luka Modric. When we revisit our last game against Liverpool at Anfield, where we played with Luka Modric and we played Valverde on the other side of the pivot. So we played Cruz at the 6, Valverde, and Luka Modric. We conceded those 2 goals, and immediately Carlos switched Valverde and Modric because he noticed that Modric wasn't giving us anything defensively. So is it really the wisest move to play Modric again when the last time we were at Anfield, we conceded 2 quick goals and you had to switch Valverde and Modric? So, a game like this is going to have very big physical demands. I don't know if this is the kind of game you want to start a guy like Luka Modric. Maybe towards the end of the game when it starts to become more open and the other team is, Liverpool is a little bit more tired, then you bring a guy like that in with his experience and he can, have some touches on the ball and impact the game towards the last 20, 15 minutes of the game, depending on what the score is. But I don't know if this is the right match to start a guy like Luka Modric. And speaking of players in the midfield, it's not clear if Valverde is going to play at right back, because obviously Lucas Vazquez traveled with the team and he trained today. So I don't know if Carlo is going to try and get Lucas Vazquez on the pitch, because obviously if he comes in, you have Valverde who tucks in with Camavinga. And to me, a guy like Valverde, you need him playing in the middle of the park, especially in a game like this where it's going to be back and forth, transitions. There's a large physical demand. You can't isolate Salah against Ferland Mendy or Fran Garcia. It can't be a situation where a guy like that, who's a big of a threat as Salah is, to be one-on-one with one of our fullback. And that's why you need a guy like Valverde to support and help Ferland Mendy against Salah, because he's in very good form. But if you have a situation where Salah is isolated against Ferland Mendy, I know he's the best defensive fullback in the world, but let's just avoid that whole situation. Let's make sure that Ferland Mendy has the cover that he needs. Because you guys all remember our clash against Bayern Munich in the Champions League last season in the semi-final where Leroy Sané scored that goal. And he was running at Ferland Mendy, and Ferland kept on pointing and saying, hey, somebody cover the inside. In case he tries to go inside, I need cover there. I can cover the outside. And that's where you can't have our fullbacks isolated against players like Luis Diaz and Salah. These are pacey guys who can make runs in behind. So it takes a collective effort. Carlo has stressed and he's talked about the need to be compact, the need for the team out of possession to be very organized. And so I saw very encouraging signs from the team holistically. Raul Asensio has been very impressive. I've really liked what I've seen from him, but this is going to be a big test for the guy. I know that he has so far passed the tests that have been put in front of him, but Anfield, the press of Liverpool, it's a whole different thing. And this is where I'm hoping we have a plan B, a contingency. I don't know what it looks like with the Ferland Mendy Rudiger center back pairing, but I hope we're not in a situation where we have to move towards that because Raul Asensio is getting exposed. I don't want to think of the worst, but there needs to be people who plan for these things because this is a big step up. It's one thing to play a team Leganes who just, got promoted in La Liga. And to be fair, he did well in that match. But Anfield is a whole different thing. So one of the things I also want to talk about here before I wrap things up is also Dani Ceballos. He gives you a lot off the ball, Dani Ceballos, and he's pretty good from a ball progression standpoint. But you just have moments where he gives up the ball in really dangerous zones. To me, if you have a midfield of Valverde, Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham, why not go for a more courageous lineup? So for me, I don't know what Carlo is going to do. But one thing we do know is Brahim Diaz needs to be on the pitch. We have seen how good he's played for Morocco. The guy was absolutely ripping it up during the international break. He's on high confidence. He's obviously an exceptional football player. Obviously, Mbappe is one of the most important players on the team sheet for us. Jude is obviously going to start. So that leaves players like Arda Güler, who has a shout to start, Luka Modric, and Dani Ceballos. Between those three players, which one of them is going to be featuring? If I had to prioritize one, again, I say it's Arda Güler. Like, that's me. I would prioritize him. This is a guy, I just don't feel like Modric has the physicality any longer to play a game like this. Whereas a guy like Arda Güler, we saw the game against Leganes, a few moments of magic and brilliance. And if you play him more and you give him more opportunities, he can really shine. This kid can do something special. So to me, overall, here's what I'll have to say about this game. It makes no sense, obviously, which I don't think Carlo will do, which is to go to Anfield and try to press the ball, but rather sit in a deeper block and look for those right moments of transition. I expect Mbappe to play on the left-hand side, and Carlo has talked about being a little bit more of a vertical side. So you can expect, as Liverpool tries to press high up the pitch, you're going to see Mbappe make those runs. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's caught off sides in this game a few times as well. But when you compare how well Kylian plays when he's down the middle versus on the left-hand side, he's way more comfortable on the left. And given the fact that Rodrigo and Vini are both out, you play Mbappe off the left and you try to time those passes. So tomorrow is going to be all about being compact, being defensively secure, being organized, sacrifice, fighting for the team, not giving up goals early in the game, and seizing on the opportunities that you're given. Mbappe is a world-class player, and we paid a lot of money for him. And we're all going to be patient with Mbappe. He plays for Real Madrid now. But these are the moments that you are brought to Real Madrid for. The team needs you to step up. Let me know what you guys think. To me, my prediction is, I think this game is going to end a draw. That's my prediction. I don't think we're going to go to Anfield to get a win, given how poorly we've been playing recently. I know we played well in our last game, but overall, we haven't been impressive this season, and I hope the team proves me wrong. Let me know if you guys agree. I'll be doing a live immediately after the game, so make sure you guys stay tuned to that, and let's hope we can get this win tomorrow and break Mo Salah's heart again. Thank you for watching. Hala Madrid.